Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 10, essentially our last week of English 200. This is the last week that you will need to submit assignments for this course. And we're going to focus on writing for self-expression and connection. Last week, we discovered that another purpose writing serves is to help us stay healthy by expressing ourselves and processing life. This week, we go one step further and look at how writing can also serve another basic human need, that of connection and belonging. If you haven't already, you all will be joining the ranks of a profession that has established itself as one of the most honorable and stressful work worlds out there. As we examined last week, writing can be a way for you to process thoughts and emotions, heal, and stay healthy. This concept can be expanded as we can benefit the larger group of those within our profession and the world in general through our writing. We will wrap up our tour of the many different ways and purposes of writing by looking at how you can connect to those in your professional world as well as the world at large through creative reflective writing. If you choose to pursue higher degrees in the healthcare field, you will undoubtedly be asked to share with your fellow students and colleagues by means of research-based writing. However, there's another burgeoning field of writing out there that you have a chance to get in on: creative reflective writing by healthcare professionals. Nurses, doctors, and other healthcare professionals have been building this wonderful canon or category of literature for many years now, from the likes of Florence Nightingale and Walt Whitman years ago, all the way up to Atul Gawande and Cheryl Buckley today. We will discover some shorter pieces penned by healthcare professionals this week for inspiration. Though they are relatively new, blogs authored by healthcare professionals continue to grow in popularity. We will examine several for inspiration in this increasingly popular genre as well. There is so much wonderful literature out there by healthcare professionals, and we hope that this week's work introduces you to just a few examples. Better yet, we hope you become inspired to join in and consider this a viable creative outlet for yourself, a way to have your voice heard in your profession and in society at large. Anne Devine helps us understand how writing to share with others can really be beneficial to ourselves as well as others. She says, "Nurses may think I'm not a writer or I don't have time to write. However, if a nursing experience stays with you, it may be a sign that it's good fodder for a story, a pearl of wisdom or life lesson to be shared. Writing may seem painful at first, but as nurses, we are curators of sorts, collecting stories, but not always sharing them. Give it a try. Once you pick up a pen, or most likely a keyboard, you may be amazed at what happens when the words start to flow." Your smaller community of healthcare professionals is eagerly waiting for you to chip in to the community, offering your own unique take on things. Together we learn and grow stronger. How can you help each other by sharing your experiences? On a larger scale, the world is waiting for your own unique vision and contribution as a healthcare professional and as a wise, thoughtful, creative human being. No one else has your unique background and experiences, your heart, your passions, your talents, and your deep understanding. How will you enrich both your smaller world and the world at large with your words and your writing? Whatever it is, you want to be heard. You want to be heard loud and clear. Proper grammar is one way to accomplish clarity and coherence in writing. We finish up this important work with a reminder of the building blocks of a sentence, phrases and clauses, as well as another error to avoid: sentence fragments. Our objectives for this week: explain why many healthcare professionals choose to write and publish, analyze literature by healthcare professionals, recognize fragments and determine correct usage of phrases and clauses in writing, choose a genre/mode of creative writing that appeals to you, and then create a creative reflection. Here we have our readings and resources for this week. We have the creative reflection overview and requirements. We have a video here for that. Here is the assignment sheet that the video covers. We have the rubric that I'm going to be using to grade you, and a sample creative reflection. And then the rest of our resources here are all examples of creative writing produced by healthcare professionals, as well as this source here, the sort of benefit of why people in the healthcare field benefit from sharing their experiences and telling stories and reflecting creatively. Down here, we have a list of 14 types of creative writing to give you some ideas of things you can do for your creative reflection. And again, the overview for the creative reflection. Now we're on to our assignments. Up first, we have our last MH Connect module. That is due on Sunday of week 10. And then we have a discussion board post in which you'll be asked to reflect on the course. As per usual, your initial post is due by Thursday of this week, and then your reply posts are due on Sunday. For your initial posts, we're just going to be reflecting on the types of writing that we've done and how we've grown. So what I'd like you to do is in your initial post, you're going to answer these questions. What was your favorite part of the course? What part of it was the most beneficial to you? What have you learned or what was reinforced for you throughout the course? What do you still need to work on? How will you incorporate the skills you've learned here with the rest of your coursework and in your life? And are there any changes you would recommend us making to the course? In your reply posts, as per usual, you can ask each other questions, you can talk about your shared opinions and experiences, you're allowed to respectfully disagree, just as long as you are being thoughtful. Your initial post needs to be 250 words, and then each of your replies needs to be 100 words. And lastly, we have the creative reflection. This needs to be at least 400 words, and it can really take any form that you want. You can do a journal entry, you can write a short story, you could do a poem, you could create, maybe song lyrics. I suppose you could write an essay if you wanted to, although this is a really good experience to do something besides write an essay. So lots of options here. This is the rubric that I'll be using to grade that assignment, as well as an example of the creative reflection. A real important thing, something that a lot of people overlook, is that you need to write an introduction. So you're going to write the reflection first. That reflection needs to be 400 words. After you've written the introduction, at the top of your page, you're going to write an introduction that's going to answer these questions. What was the purpose of your writing? In other words, what were you trying to accomplish with it? Or what effect do you hope that this piece of writing has on readers? What was the process like for producing that writing? And then finally, what are the results? How do you feel about it now that the writing is done? A lot of people overlook this part of the assignment, but it is worth a pretty big chunk of the grade, so please don't forget to do that. We have some tips of success here that you can check out if you would like, some instructions for uploading that document, and that pretty well covers it. Your creative reflection is due by Sunday of this week. You are not required to do any research or use any sources, but of course, if you do use someone else's ideas or words, you should make sure to properly cite those in APA format. Here we have an optional discussion forum. I'm going to highlight the fact that this is optional. There are no points tied to this. You are not required to do it. But if you would like to share your creative reflection with the rest of the class, you may do so here. And then we have some instructions for if you would like your creative reflection to potentially be published in our literary journal, The Pulse of Creativity. We have some instructions here for the submission requirements and who you can contact if you would like your work to be considered. That is it for this week. Kind of a busy last week, but I believe in you. Luckily, the creative reflection is not that tricky. It's relatively short, and you can, as long as you're reflecting on some aspect of your life, pretty much anything is fair game. If you have any questions for me, if you want me to clarify anything for you, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you out.